Okay, we are on part 2 of this tutorial. The first part we stopped, the end of it was this, and I had just went through the layers panel. It's the Toots color, Toots bricks, Toots, and Toots is just the Toots text. I should put text there. And Toots 3D, and the Toots shadow, apartment color, apartment, Gimp clone color, Gimp clone bricks, Gimp, and Gimp 3D. So the next step we need to do is go to File, Open, and we're going to open up this image right here. This is another image from, if you're just coming into this second tutorial, you need to stop and go to the first tutorial. I had broken it into 2 parts because it is a really long tutorial because there's a lot of steps here, and I didn't realize that it was gonna take that much longer. But anyways, we're gonna open this up into its own little layer, and here on this layer you could cut as much out. What we're supposed to do is I'm gonna right click on it and add an alpha channel, and if I right click and I add a layer mask and put this on full opacity, Control Z that, as you can see, what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to cut out all the rest of the stuff. All we want is these buildings right here and this right here. So we need to cut that out, and there's 2 different ways you could do this. You could make a layer mask like I just made, and you could go through with your paintbrush tool and you could eyeball it, or you Control Z, and you could still use a layer mask if you'd like, and use your path tool. And we're going to zoom in here, and what you want to do is you just want to take your path tool and you want to follow along here. And with your path tool, you got points, and then you got control points inside of it. So if I move this here, and if I hold down control and press right here, I add a control point there. Now as you can see, I'm controlling these control points, and we're making loops. And this is what's good about the path tool, is because if you're following around a circle, let's Control Z all this and get out of here and start over. So if I'm just gonna make say a triangle, and we're going to use these control points here, Control Z that, Control Z, I want to click on there, and if you hold down Control Z, which one is it, Alt? No, Shift. You can move these control points if you hold down control. And so we come here, come on now, and we just use and move these control points around on each of these, and you can make some pretty funky shapes if you'd like to. And there you go, and then we could fill I don't know, a solid line, Control Z that. But anyway, you fill control, and you can make a little like cartoon looking cloud, but that's not what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and we can leave the layer mask, and what you want to do is you just want to take your path tool and you want to just go through here and trace all around this outline. I already have one. Let's see, which one is it? This one. I already have one, and I show you what I cut out. So I cut out everything. Control Z. Come on now. I cut out everything from the background of this image. So if you look here, I went ahead and I went along and I cut out everything. I just followed along this line. I took this little building here, went up, went all the way through, and let's see. Okay, yeah, I went through, I went up this building, went up here, and then I went from below here and I cut this out. Oh no, I went up top from here. So I zoom in here real quick. I went up top, followed the outline, went up top, and just went and cut around all of this stuff here, down, and I just went through and went up, and I cut off the top of this and went down, and I followed this. Yeah, I just went straight down with it. I cut this part off and everything because you're not going to see it, and I went straight down all the way, and I went to this building over here, and I went all the way straight down. And those are the parts that I cut out. I'm not going to go through and cut out everything here. Like I said, I will go and I will show you a little bit of it though, just real quick, so you guys can get the drift of how I did it. Control Z. You just want to follow kind of along the lines, and you don't really have to worry about how good the edges are here unless you want to. I mean, the more time you spend on it, the better the image is going to look. I just want to show you basically what I did, and you could get in as close as you want and make as many points as you want there to follow along the line to get it as perfect as you want. So I'm just, like I said, I'm going to go through and just show you guys sort of how I did this and stuff, and just follow these lines here all the way through and just totally cut that off. Come up, follow this around, come up, and we want to go all the way, yeah, all the way straight up through here, and just you want to just kind of follow around this path here. Go straight up here. Straight down. Let's see here. Just like that, and I went all the way straight down to this next building and went straight over, and then I went all the way down, over, down, then zoom out, over, zoom in, hold down Control, click it, link it, and then selection from path, and now you got a selection. Now just hit Control I to invert the selection, hit delete, oops, Control Z, hit, since we got a layer mask, if you didn't put a layer mask you'd want to hit delete, but since we got a layer mask we want to have black color, and then hit the bucket and bucket fill it, Control Shift A, and there you go. That's exactly what I did over here, except for I took more time and cutting this stuff out, but that's basically exactly what I did over here, but I didn't use a layer mask, but I used a layer mask on here. So either way, you don't have to use the layer mask. You can, you don't have to. It's up to you. So what we want to do now is we want to Control Shift A, Control A, sorry, and then to select everything, then File, Edit, Copy, and come back over here to this image and press Control V and click on the to make it a new layer. And then we are going to move this layer all the way down to the very bottom. Just like that. Zoom out a little bit, holding Control and using your mouse wheel. And let's just scale it down a little bit. Press M on your keyboard for the Move tool. And let's see. How do we want this? How did I put it in this one? That all the way up, that by the Gimp. That's Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. And then I had, okay, so I did Shift T, so I did scale it down a little. Press M, and we'll move it just about right there for now, or you know what, let's go ahead and about right there. That looks good to me. So, and if you want to, you could go ahead and go to File and then save this in a Gimp file if you'd like, so you could use it for other projects for later, because it is a royalty-free image. Okay, let's go ahead and Control Z that back to I got to looking at it and I didn't like that. I like this the way this is set, and so let's Control Z that back to its original size. I do apologize about that. And let's press Shift T, and let's go up here and without erasing anything, just click and click on the backslash and then 2, which means 2816 divided by 2. Press enter, which it'll cut it in half. Press scale. Let's grab our move tool just like that, and let's move this in position just like that. I like that a whole lot better. It looks a whole lot better. Now let's go up to colors, brightness and contrast, and let's go ahead and make the brightness -127 and the contrast to 28, and press let's get out of there. I forgot one step. Let's go colors, desaturate, luminosity, press OK. Now colors, brightness, contrast. I do apologize. I don't know what's wrong with me. -127 and then 28 on the contrast, and there we go. And as you can tell, it gets super dark. Not super dark, but dark. and you don't have to scale that down exactly how I have it scaled. You could scale it any way you'd like to, and you can play with the brightness, contrast, and all that stuff all you want. Don't worry about this right here. We will take care of that here in just a little bit. And don't worry about this extra space and stuff. We'll take care of all that here in just a minute. Alright, let's go to File and then Open as Layers. Not open, just Open as Layers. and let's find the cloud image, and let's press open, and you convert it just like that. And let's go to colors, and let's desaturate that too, and we're going to desaturate the luminosity. Press OK, just like that. And let's make sure that this layer is all the way at the bottom, just like that. And let's go ahead and make a new layer, and let's call this cloud color, and we're going to fill it with this color right here, and it is 0F 0D 08. Press OK. Grab your bucket fill tool and fill it. And we're going to change the layer mode to color. So now you got this kind of sepia color tone looking thing. And we're going to change the opacity to 50%, just like that. Now it's a little bit more contrasted, or I mean contrasted, desaturated, I apologize. Let's just click on this and name this to clouds. And let's click on that layer, and let's go to colors, and let's go to brightness and contrast, and let's make the brightness -127 and the contrast to 40. Now it's really super dark. Press OK, just like that. Now let's go ahead and let's press M on our keyboard, and let's move these clouds around just a little bit to get something a little bit better. And now we are going to go ahead and grab the crop tool, and we are going to go ahead and crop this out. Press enter, and there, now we fixed that little problem there. And now let's go up to file, and let's go to open, and we are going to oops, wrong one. File, open, and we are going to open the lamp shade. If we're going to open the lamp layer here, and we're going to just grab our pass tool, and we are going to zoom in here quite a bit. Let's see, about here is fine, and we'll just put a point there and move it in some, and then we'll click over here, and we'll just start going up with it, because we want to go ahead and cut this image out. Control Z that. Let's make another point up a little bit higher. And you just want to kind of follow this path here. Don't worry if you go inside the line a little bit, that's fine. Control Z that. Let's Control Z that one. And like I said, this is the best lamp, or best royalty-free lamp I could find. Don't want to use, you could use whatever lamp you want, but this is the best one that I could find, and it's royalty-free, so you could use it commercially or whatever you want to use it for. Just make sure that anytime you use an image, that if the people that created the images, if they request for you to you know, leave their name or something, like say if you make YouTube videos or something, if they request for you to give them credit, make sure you give them credit, because if not, and if you go and make $50,000 and you didn't credit them, that just gives them an excuse to sue you. So, and then all your $50,000 is most likely gonna go bye-bye to lawyers and all that other kind of junk. So anyways, just make sure you credit them. Or you could go out and use your own camera and take your own pictures if you'd like, which I'm starting to do that in more of my personal projects and stuff like that. I am starting to do that more and more myself now also, because there are some great images out there, but the people behind taking the pictures, they're not always very nice people and stuff. Anyways, I don't want to go too much into that, but just saying, if you got a nice decent little camera, or if your phone camera takes good pictures, use that, because cameras nowadays are pretty sophisticated, even on phones, and it's nothing to take a great picture. So we're just going to cut right through this. Scroll all the way down, hold control to link that, and then selection from path, and then we're going to control I, and we're going to go back over here to this layer and right click and make sure that there's an alpha channel. Click add alpha channel, and then click delete on your keyboard. Press Control Shift A, press M on your computer, and there you go. Now you have a little lamp that you could use. See, pretty much the same as this one. I might have made this one a little bit longer, so I just take the rectangular select tool and just go like that and just hit delete and press Control Shift A, and there you go. That's what we're going to use. So you can either edit, right click, copy. Oops, wrong one. Edit, right click, edit, copy, and then come back over here and press Control V to paste it in there. Press on the new layer button, press M on your keyboard to grab the move tool, press Shift T on your keyboard to grab the transform tool, and just scale that puppy down way down there. M on your keyboard again to move it, and you just want to place it somewhere on the letter, and we're going to Shift T that again and scale it down some more. Press M on your keyboard for the move tool, and you just want to place it somewhere right here on there, and we're going to right click alpha to selection. We're going to come over here to our brush tool and make sure we're on a solid black, so just reset over here, scale down the size a little and the opacity quite a bit, and on this bottom piece you just want to fill that stuff in there, just kind of like that, and just kind of darken that a little. Just press Control Shift A, and there we go. Let's Shift T again and let's scale this down a little bit more. Same on your keyboard, grab your move tool and move that puppy right there into place. Alright, we are going to go ahead and we're going to name this light. Actually, we'll name this light 1, and we're going to make a new layer, and we're going to name this light let's see, we'll name this light, press OK, and we'll name this light post. There we go. That makes more sense. Alright, now what we're going to do here is you could use the pass tool if you'd like, and we're just going to go somewheres and kind of draw a triangle, hold down control to connect, and then selection from path, and then come over here with white, and you can fill it if you'd like, but I don't want to use the pass tool. We're going to use the free select tool, and the first triangle that we're going to use, or make, I mean, it's going to be kind of a smaller one, just like that, and connect it. And let's go ahead and grab our paint bucket fill tool and fill it with white. Control Shift A to deselect. And we are going to go ahead and go to filters and go to blur, Gaussian blur. Let's find that light. There it is. And we are going to blur, oops, too much. We're going to blur this by, let's try 10 at first and press OK. And then we're going to Control Shift D, duplicate that, and we're going to press, or actually go up here and re-show Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur this one by 17 pixels, and Control Shift D again, and we're going to go filters, re-show Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur this one by, let's say 30. And let's go ahead and for the first light, let's lower the opacity. Second light, lower the opacity. Third light, lower the opacity. Way super down there. Second one, way super down there. Third one, way down there. Okay, now we're going to right click, merge down, right click, merge down, and now we're going to go to filters, re-show Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur it again. Okay, now we're going to grab the free select tool again, and we are going to go down and make this one just a little bit bigger and fill it with white. Control Shift A, and we are going to do the same process. So we're going to go filters, re-show Gaussian blur, and what did I do the first one? Was it just 10? Press OK. Control Shift D to duplicate that one. Filters, blur, Gaussian blur, and what did I do this one? 17, 18. Control Shift D again, and filters, re-show Gaussian blur, and this one was 30. So lower the opacity way down, way down, way down, and merge down, and merge down. Like post. Control Z that last one. What happened here? Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Let's turn that one off. We got this one and this one. Alright. Let's merge. Oops. Let's go ahead. Let's merge that one down. Let's turn this one back on. Let's turn the opacity super low. What happened here? Something happened. Something happened. Anyways, we'll merge. We'll turn this one back up to full opacity, and we'll merge this down. That is a little irritating. So we'll go filters, re-show Gaussian blur. Blur it by a lot. Create a new layer. Light 2, and let's try doing that one more time. Oops, Control Z that. So I don't have no clue what happened to that other layer. But anyways, it's the same process. So Control Shift A. I'm going to pause this. Sorry, I accidentally pressed the button too fast. I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and I'm going to go through. Actually, no, I'm going to go ahead and go through this process with you guys and show you one more time. So 10, Control Shift D, filters, reshow Gaussian blur. We'll do 20. Control Shift D, filters, reshow Gaussian blur, and we'll go 30. Press OK. Now we'll go ahead and lower the opacity down, 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 alright, now we'll go to the top one, merge down, top one, merge down. Now we'll go back to filters, reshow Gaussian blur, and we'll blur this by like 60 pixels. Just like that. And we'll turn this one's opacity up a little bit. Okay, and now we are going to go and make a new layer and name this Light 3. Press enter, and I'm going to do the same process, except for I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger than before and just fill it in. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and make sure that I don't press the button too fast. So I'm going to go through the same process that we did with these other two at the same Gaussian blur level, and I will come back right after I get done doing that. Okay, I'm back after that. I haven't merged anything down or anything. I'm just going to play with these opacity levels here. And the opacity levels is just eyeball it. I don't have really no set opacity level. Now on the bigger levels you do want to go lighter than in the middle. So on the outside you want it to be lighter. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to merge this down and merge this down, and then go up to filters, Gaussian blur, and blur this 60 pixels again, and press OK, just like that. And now I'm going to play with this opacity and this opacity and raise this opacity up just a little bit to get more darkness there in the middle. And now I'm going to go ahead to the top one. I'm going to right click, merge down, right click, merge down, just like that. And we're going to go to filters, reshow Gaussian blur, and we'll blur by another 60 pixels, just like that. And now we are going to take our eraser tool on it with a soft brush and a decent size, and we are just going to go and kind of make this not so triangle looking, making sure that I'm just clicking on the outside of it here, just to kind of give it a little bit different shape there at the bottom. Now press the move tool, and we are going to move this more up into the light, and we're going to click on the light post, and we're going to grab our brush and we're going to lower the size and turn the opacity up because it was down. I got it about 50% there, and I'm just going to click right up there to make that a little bit more brighter and not so orange looking, and to kind of give it a glow on the outside of it, just like that. And now I'm going to move this below the light post. And so you should have something that looks like that. Okay, like I said, this is what you should have here. So I'm going to zoom out here just a little bit because the size proportion, the light post, I'm going to Shift T and I'm going to scale that down even more. Because it just, for some reason, it just looks too big to me. Press M on the keyboard to move it back into position. And grab the light down here and move that back into position. Just like that. And move the opacity down a little. Now I'm going to go ahead and press Control Shift D. And I'm going to duplicate this light post twice. And I'm going to do this with the light also. So Control Shift D, 1, 2. And we are going to move that up. And then move that one up. And then we are going to take one light post copy and we are going to move it over here on the G, and then take the light and then move it where it should be. And then this one we are going to put on the I. Just like that. And now all these need to be scaled down. So I'm going to scale this last one right here. I'm going to scale that one down. That one's going to be smaller than all of them. So I'm going to scale that one down quite a lot. So scale. Press M. It might scale that a little bit more. Press M on the keyboard for the move tool. And then we are going to scale the light also. So Shift T, scale it down. Press M on your keyboard for the move tool. Just line it back up in place. And then we're going to go to the second one and we are going to press Shift T, sorry. And we don't want to scale that one down smaller than the other one. The other one's supposed to be smaller, so set it right there. And take the light and press Shift T and scale that down a little also. Scale. Press M on your keyboard to move it back into place. Just like that. And I think this light post, this last one, needs to be scaled down some more. Because this one's going to be the biggest because it's closer to the camera. And these ones need to be smaller because they're farther away. So press M. Shift T. Scale. Press M on the keyboard for the move tool. Then move it back into place over here. Let's see, so smaller, smaller. And I guess this one I made too small, so we'll go ahead and raise the size of that a little bit. Press M. And the light, we'll Shift T and scale that light up just a little bit too. Press M on the keyboard. Move it down. Just like that. And let's see, I think I want to lower the opacity on all these lights some more. They're looking pretty bright as they are. Just like that, I think looks fine. I think this middle light I want to scale down just a tiny bit more. I think that looks alright. Now we could have went ahead and merged it all and then duplicated it that way, and then scaled it down as a whole, but I wanted to go ahead and keep them separate. That way we have just more maneuverability and stuff with them to go ahead and mess around with. So we could even go and we could make these even more opaque. So they're not so in your face, you know what I mean? And that looks even a little bit more better. And these lights, you see there's light on this building already. And that's another reason why we darken this up right here, is because there's some light coming across and it's bringing down some light into these. So let's go ahead and make a new layer, and let's name this just fill, and let's go ahead and click on our color palette, and the color that we want is this color right here. It's 292615. Press OK. Grab your bucket fill tool and fill the whole color in. And we're going to change the color mode to color. I mean the layer mode, I'm sorry, to color. And we are going to lower the opacity to 70%. Okay, lower it manually to 70%, and then that way we get this sort of look. And if you'd like, you could go back down to this apartment layer and you could burn this a little bit more, make some of this a little bit darker. Raise the size of this brush. Kind of just burn that some more, just like that, just to make it a little bit darker to go with. Okay, now we are going to make a new layer, and we gonna just name it, we'll just name it, let's see, fog, I guess. And we're gonna go to filters, render, clouds, and we're gonna go to solid noise. And we are gonna make the detail size to 15 and the X and Y size to 6, just like that, and press OK. And we are going to put the layer mode to overlay. And now we're going to make another new layer, and we're going to name this fill 2, and we're going to change these colors back to black, and we're going to fill it with black, and we're going to put this on soft light, just like that, so you get that sort of look. And you could adjust the opacity if you'd like. I don't think I did over here. Nope, I left it on full opaque, or full opacity, sorry. Now we are going to go and go back down to our apartment layer here. And as you can see on mine, I darkened that up quite a bit there, so we're going to just grab our burn tool and lower the size of the brush, and we're just going to darken that up over here to blend that in this area. Over here. And we're going to go down to the we're going to buildings layer, call that buildings, and we're going to darken that up and give it like a little bit of a shadow look there. And go back to the apartment layer and just work a little bit more on that there to blend it in. And we can play around with this opacity here and see what we like and what we don't like. And we're just gonna, now it's just it is. There's some changes here, and we're just gonna go to the Toots bricks layer, and with the burn tool, we're gonna burn these a little bit, just to kind of darken them up a little. And we're gonna go to the apartment, and we are gonna darken under these window ledges a little, just to kind of give a little shadow there. And we're gonna go to the Gimp bricks layer, and we're gonna burn these a little too and darken these up just a tad bit. Just like that. And let's go to this buildings layer and press M for the move tool, and let's just move that just a tad bit, just like that. And let's grab our crop tool. Let's go from this top corner, and we're going to go down to the edge of that building there and press enter, and we're going to crop that away a little, just like that. And we're going to make a new vignette layer, press OK, and actually first we're going to leave that there and turn off the eyeball, and then let's click on this fill 2 layer, and you could go to layer, and then new from visible. I got mine as Shift Control Alt E, and press that and make a new one. Now turn the vignette layer back on, and then let's go to Tools, GEGL Operation, and let's go to Vignette, and let's change the color to that green color, and let's move the radius up just a little, press OK, and let's put this on multiply or burn. Let's see here, which one do I like better? Gray merge, soft light. So you could either use soft light or multiply. That is totally up to you on your preferences. So I'm going to turn this off real quick, and I'm going to go to this fill layer. And I'm going to bring the opacity back up to about 83. And this layer, I'm going to bring all the way up to 100%. We'll keep the fog layer just the way it is. Turn the cloud color up just a little. And let's go ahead and delete this visible layer. And then let's go back up and let's turn the vignette off again, and then go to this fill 2 layer, and then let's go back up to layer new from visible, Then let's turn that back on, just like that. And I just wanted to darken the image up just a little bit. And actually, let's delete the vignette layer real quick. And I'm going to do a little bit more cropping. Let's see how that looks. We'll crop it just like that, and then make a new vignette layer, and then go to Tools, GGL, Operation, then go back to Vignette and choose that green color again, and press OK, and then put it on Multiply, and there we go. That's the final image. So that is how you do, where's it at? That is how you do this. Then that is his final image, and this is our final image. Once you go ahead and save it and stuff like that and pull it up, you could do some more final work to it if you'd like. It looks like he put a sharpen filter on it, and he went through and he dodged some of it and stuff. That's what it looks like to me. And you could go through and do that, but this second part of the tutorial has already ran for a long time, and so it's almost a 2-hour tutorial that I broke up. But this is the basics on how you do this tutorial, and this is how I do it in my way, just like the guy had asked me and had request. Like I said, in this one, the only thing that I didn't add was, where's it at? Was this girl, and this right here, this motel sign thingy. I went to Creative Commons. I did desktop. I did find one somewhere. I went to Creative Commons, and I was gonna add it in here, and I was gonna add the a girl sitting down. I was gonna find one of them images, but that would take quite a long time for me to do in here, and like I said, this is already almost a 2-hour tutorial. Not complaining or nothing like that, but some people do complain when it's super long tutorial. But this is the basics, and this is how you do it, or how I do it anyways. You could go back and you could turn this off, and you could go back to the clouds and press M on your keyboard, and you could go ahead and re-import the clouds back in here, because we done cropped everything off, and just desaturate them, because you already have the color layer right here. All you need to do is just desaturate them, and you can move them around and try to get a different look for the clouds if you'd like. And then, like I said, you could go in, you could add a sharpen filter if you'd like, and then come in here and dodge more places, and then burn some more places, create some more shadows and stuff if you'd like. But this is how I do the tutorial, and that's I went pretty much basically the way that he went by doing it. So I hope this explained to you how to create that tutorial, and thanks to the guy. His name's Dave. I hope you don't get mad for me saying his name, but he requested it, and that is how you go about doing it. And like I said, I think I improved a few things that this other guy did, but that's in my opinion. So I hope this helps. Thank you. Please like and subscribe, and there will be tons more tutorials.